What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this link has been sent to me a couple times and I thought, you know what, let's react to it. It is called Inside the World's Most Powerful Building. Wow. And as we know, it is the Pentagon.
Wow.
So I know of the Pentagon, I've heard of it, but I don't know what actually happens inside it, like what it's actually about. So this will be quite an educational video for us.
You know what? I know nothing about the Pentagon.
She didn't know Pentagon existed.
When Yass were reacting to the Pentagon, the first thing I said, oh, a stadium.
Yeah, no, I said it's not a stadium. It's not that. So we're going to educate ourselves and watch this video. Well. Before we do,
please smash that subscribe button. And I've said so many times, when you know 70K, so I don't need to keep repeating myself. Let's get into it.
This is the Pentagon. And for 80 years, it has been the biggest office building in the world. But that's not all it is. It's also the most secure building in the world and home to America's most important secrets. Wow. Known worldwide for its unbeatable security.
That's probably where
but how is it that this five-sided shape
Area
built
51.
in less than 2 years became one of the most impenetrable forces the world has ever seen? To understand the construction of the Pentagon, we need to go back to the end of World War I, where the United States Department of Defense had begun growing at an exponential rate due to the war effort, and really never stopped growing after it ended. More and more military structures were established, and it got to the point where they didn't just have anywhere to consolidate all of them. As World War II was beginning, growth picked up again, and it became nearly impossible for the Corps to remain coordinated and in control. This disorganization started to become a more serious issue, and a request by the man in charge of logistics, Brahman B. Sommerfeld, the head of the construction division of the Quartermaster Corps, was made to increase the space they had, a request which Congress promptly agreed to. Shortly after, a plan was made to construct the building. The original location was in Arlington Farms, which geographically was surrounded on 5 sides by various roads. Because of this, the decision was made to construct the building in the shape of a pentagon, and thus the unique design was born. However, complaints rose about the building, both due to its size and due to its location blocking the view of Arlington National Cemetery. So the building would shortly after be moved near the Potomac River, where it currently stands. Construction of the Pentagon began in 1941 under the supervision of architect George Bergstrom and chief engineer Leslie Groves. The Pentagon's construction was completed in a remarkably short time, considering the challenge posed by wartime shortages and various logistical complexities. They worked at this rate due to the growing concerns about the ongoing war, and construction intensified after December of 1941 when the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor took place, prompting Sommerfeld to push for it to be open for occupation by April of 1943. Notably, the construction of the building didn't include any elevators, a decision made both to speed up the process of construction and also to conserve the uses of steel and iron for other needs of the war. It officially opened on January 15, 1943, and quickly became the nerve center of U.S. military operations. Its location close to the Capitol allowed for easier communication and coordination between military branches, leading to more efficient decision-making and execution of wartime strategies. One question you may ask at this point is, why a Pentagon? Sure, they needed it for geographical reasons back at the beginning, but they've moved locations and that's no longer necessary, so why stick with it? The design of the building was not only practical but also symbolic. The 5 sides represented the unity of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps, and the newly created Department of Defense, highlighting the collaborative nature of American military operations. Besides that, and perhaps a more significant determining factor at the time of construction, was that President Franklin D. Roosevelt just kind of liked it. He stated that he liked the shape and that he had never seen any building designed like that, so he wanted it to stay the same. Another reasoning, which may not have been considered when it was first being constructed, was the sheer ease and convenience of navigating the building. It is said that even today, with its ever-growing size, it takes no more than 7 minutes to get between any 2 locations within the building. The interior hallways are also descriptive.
Maybe more buildings need to be Pentagon then.
I think they'll take up a lot of space.
That's the problem. But like important buildings that need to be, you know, there for the defense of the US, they might need to convert them into a Pentagon shape.
Labeled to assist with navigation and even include a zero corridor, which is the main hallway that wraps the entire length of the building and to which all other corridors converge. A spectacle of organization and an incredible feat for a place that could fit 5 United States capitals within its walls. So how does a building that was clearly built with speed as the main priority over security become a place considered the most secure building on Earth? In the 1990s, the Pentagon faced an outbreak of asbestos, a hazardous material once widely used in construction for its fire-resistant properties. Severe health risks are posed by exposure to asbestos, so the Department of Defense initiated a renovation project. This project was not only aimed at asbestos removal, but also provided an opportunity to upgrade the Pentagon's infrastructure, thereby enhancing its security and resilience. Little did they know, these upgrades would come at the perfect time, proving integral in limiting the impact of an attack that nobody could possibly have seen coming. The renovations included the installation of Kevlar linings in some parts of the building. Kevlar, a material used in bulletproof vests, is best known for its resistance to penetration, making it a primary reason for its inclusion in the renovations. The thinking was that it would protect from outside attacks and prevent shrapnel from entering the building in case of an explosion. However, Kevlar is incredibly multifaceted. It can be utilized not only for blast mitigation, absorbing and dispensing the energy from explosions to minimize damage, but also for structural reinforcement, ensuring...
The thing is, that middle part is open.
Yeah, regardless of what's on the outside, isn't it?
Like, couldn't they enter through the middle?
Well...
Then again, you have to land, and by that time, everyone will...
Yeah, they'll be...
get ready.
The air defense will... like intercept it.
Yeah, so I guess
that's the only way, because if there wasn't such a good air defense in the US, then that would probably be the target of weakness, is fly a helicopter over it and somehow land it in the middle. But I guess that's way harder to do than just it being said, you know.
During areas prone to impact held strong under stress. Additionally, while Kevlar itself is not fireproof, it does offer some degree of fire resistance. And when used in conjunction with other materials, it further contributed to the overall fire safety strategy of the facility. On top of just including the Kevlar to reinforce the windows and frames, they also introduced blast-resistant glass.
Wow.
These upgrades, particularly in Wedge 1 of the building, were primarily intended to safeguard against external threats. Unfortunately, they would have to put the new upgrades to the test sooner than they anticipated. On September 11, 2001, the Pentagon was struck by American Airlines Flight 77.
No way.
After this event, Project Phoenix was underway, a project not only to rebuild and reinforce the remainder of the building, but also to focus on securing the surrounding area, which was the most vulnerable part of the building. The primary concerns began with a metro station that led directly under the Pentagon, which would be closed so that all access to the Pentagon could be from above ground. There was also Highway 110 that ran unrestricted just meters beside the building. So a decision was made to reroute it through the building's north parking lot, which had just been bolstered with an increased police and security presence. They also installed ram protective barriers and structures designed to prevent unauthorized vehicles from breaching the perimeter and accessing sensitive areas.
Not gonna lie, with the amount of changes and upgrades they're doing, and they must have some secrets in the Pentagon they're hiding, I tell you.
I'm telling you, they got UFO over there as well.
That landed in the middle. What if the building is a UFO? That's why it's a Pentagon.
Maybe.
Is near the Pentagon. Additionally, improvements were made in surveillance and monitoring systems along Highway 110.
Wow.
This included the installation of CCTV cameras, sensors, and other security technologies. Anything or anyone attempting to do anything fishy around the Pentagon would have a real tough time getting away with it. Such as this guy, who decided to drive full speed through the security checkpoint, attempting by his own admission to harm others and couldn't even make it out of the parking lot.
Good.
Even if you did manage to make it inside. Did you know that the Pentagon has its police force known as the Pentagon Force Protection Agency, established through the Department of Defense, and is responsible for the protection of the facility? They also have a means of preventing unauthorized contraband from entering the building via an entire building that was constructed specifically to sort, secure, and direct mail packages. That's all aspects of ground travel. But what about the sky, you're probably wondering? How are they preventing another 9/11 incident? Well, they've got that covered as well. Anti-air systems were put in place with specific rules and regulations preventing air travel over areas of D.C., Maryland, and Virginia without permission. You are warned with a laser that a trained pilot will recognize as a warning to reroute out of the area. And a failure to adhere to this warning will result in more direct means of stopping you being initiated. It will likely begin with the scrambling of fighter jets and potentially more destructive measures if that doesn't discourage the behavior. So, what is it that makes the Pentagon so important nowadays? The Pentagon is a representation of the United States military. It showcases unity between the 5 branches. It provides each branch with a centralized headquarters or a central nerve system, as some refer to it. The Pentagon isn't just useful to the military, however. It is also a symbol for the American people and a symbol of patriotism to the United States as a country. It has a reputation for strength, resilience, and security that is recognized by every country around the world.
After watching that, what's your thoughts on the Pentagon? It's not a football stadium now, you know that.
I want to go there.
And do what?
And I want to ask them, excuse me, can I have a look at your secret files? And
comment below if you think they'll show facts, the secret files of the US, all US's secrets.
Maybe you can apply for a job over there.
Yeah, I'll apply for a job.
Did you know once we watched a film and it motivated Yass to
What film was it?
I don't know.
We watched something sick, which was like a secret agent film, yeah? I literally turned on my laptop and I applied for the MI5. They didn't call me back.
Unfortunately.
Despite how strong my CV is.
Yeah.
Right, guys, thank you so much for the recommendation. Very educational. Keep commenting other videos below. For now, peace out.
Bye.